24th day of November 2020. Charles Godwin, voice opening prayer. President of the meeting includes Ron Kenneth Harris, President of the Board, Jackie Johnson, Vice President of the Board, Joe Alexander, Charles Moses, and Charles Godwin. Steve Seal, County Administrator, was also present. Steve Seal read the minutes from the prior meeting. Charles Godwin and Charles Moses made a motion to second to accept the November 19th, 2020 minutes as corrected. The motion carried unanimously. Interview for purchase clerk. Lana K. Smith was invited to the meeting to be interviewed and discuss the job of purchase clerk. Ms. Smith left the meeting. Jackie Johnson made a motion to hire Lana K. Smith at a salary of $25,000 a year with a $2,000 increase once she is certified with the state auditor's office. Charles Godwin made. Jackie made the motion. Charles Godwin voiced second motion. The motion carried unanimously. Dispatch. Alyssa Middleton was invited to meet to discuss dispatch in the NCIC machine. Surplus property. Joe Alexander and Jackie Johnson made a motion second to declare the following items surplus, to dispose of them in a legal manner either through auction or by posting the items for sale to the highest bidder. 1991 Peterbilt D31 truck, asset number 1522278. VIN numbers 59GL, the last four digits. A 2005 Volvo G7208 motor grader, asset number 1552961, the last four digits is 500X, the serial number. Motion carried unanimously. Joe Alexander made a motion to advertise to purchase one more new mini excavator through reverse auction. Charles Moses seconded the motion. The motion carried unanimously. Delinquent Justice Court fines for the month of October 21, 2020 to November 2020 were $394.52. American Municipal Services collection for the same period was $3,644.01. There was 160 new cases opened during that period with fines in the amount of $43,682 levied, with $2,400.75 from the new cases collected. There were 19 dismissals for the period. Employee changes: Tyler Robinson, Sheriff's Office, full-time $40,000 a year. Jeremy Pinson, Sheriff's Office, part-time $11 an hour. Joe Alexander made a motion. Charles Godwin voiced the second motion to adjourn until December the 7th, 2020 at 10 o'clock a.m. The motion carried unanimously.
Thanks, George. Do we have any corrections on these minutes?
Yeah, we put that surplus property in paper, or put it on the board or anything.
If you got a preference. Well, I mean, are you going to put it in the auction or?
I may talk to that.
Do we get a motion to accept these minutes?
So moved.
All in favor? Docket. Wish everyone to finish your docket.
Joe, you finished yours?
Do we get a motion to accept the docket?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Joe, did you want to see us? Thanks.
Sir?
Did you want to see forward?
Yeah. Did y'all have any questions about anything?
You got your well and done.
Not all of it. We've got the dorms fixed. He had to go to another job, or he lost the job, but he's coming back. He's going to do the lockdown, the vault, and the gun room, and that should finish him up. We got him back from Kemper as quick as we could. Got everything loaded up and going, but as for right now, the jail part is sort of halfway good, especially the dorms are great, but everything else got to be finished, so we can come back and finish it.
Joe, where are we at on MDOT providing?
We still don't have a van. I don't know if COVID's messed it up or what, but
They were providing.
yeah, we got the trailer, we got the bag, I mean, everything except for the van. So we'll get it sooner or later and on the state highway. I added 2 more to the road crew. We got 5 on there now. The more we get, we keep getting more, put them on the road crew.
Anything else for Joey?
We had talked about the constable situation. We weren't gonna talk about
Yeah, I mean, Lauderdale County, on the old fines and justice court, the way Lauderdale County is doing it, they will pay their constable 10% of whatever fine it is to go collect the fines on warrants. If you get 25%, you get 50% of the people that owe justice court. That's money you didn't have. I mean, it may be 10%, may be incentive for the constable to go out there and do it, but that's the way Lauderdale County does it. It's a way of getting revenue back into justice court.
Is that an increase in the fine? Or
No, it's the same fine, it's just 10% out of the fine. You lose 10% of $200 fine or whatever it is.
That's the $43,000 in November that we collected 2,400 on, so there's still 41,000 owed.
And it's just something like,
100 you pay them, if they collected it all, but that would be, can we, how do you go about that? I'm not sure.
and I don't even know if the constable would want to do it. I mean, you would think they would. I think they make 35 per warrant or paper they serve. I think, I may be wrong on that. But then again, initial 10%.
Jason, you want to do some investigating and see if we could
Something?
legally do it?
Good fine. I think this one's on the docket this morning.
Yeah, they raised it.
A lot of people upset and you walk up to them.
No, it's just something to think about. It might be a good way to get revenue back.
But, I mean, when they go out and issue these and they're gonna have to come back to court again.
The ideal thing would be if they did go arrest them, they would cash bond out. They cash bond out, the money gets put in a safe in the jail, and it gets checked with the justice court, gets deposited.
But you can't be arrested for all we can, you, Jason?
Unless there's a warrant. If you have a warrant, you can't hold them for only a certain amount of time. If they're very indigent, you sure can't, but
So in other words, all the people that owe, you'd have to go back and get a warrant wrote up on.
they're already warrants.
They're already,
Yes.
okay. Well, then I guess that's.
So we're talking about people that have bench warrants against them that aren't paying the fines.
Through justice court, yes.
And if constables are willing to do it,
Yes.
and if it's legal to do it, then they can be held in the jail for a certain period of time.
Right.
And it have to be a cash bond in order for them to get out, they can't, with a,
It's on the warrant, price, it'll be cash bond. 99% of the time, the judge writes cash bond on the warrant, so, I mean, there are certain circumstances that he wouldn't, but most of the time it is.
Okay.
that's a lot of money for $3,500. I mean, that's, I don't, can't go and hide 35, if 35 goes to another court. That's a lot of justice court fine.
It's just something to think about.
Jason, you gonna check on that and see what we can do and all?
Do it as we speak. I mean, it's gonna take me a minute.
Y'all need to know anybody else?
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You got something for us?
Everybody doing well?
Good. How are you?
That's what I love to hear.
Morning.
I came out of case of strep, but I'm doing better now. But everything going good over there. We did have one instance of some radio traffic. I don't know if y'all heard anything about that. But the situation's already been looking into. See, we thought there were some minor instances of people not getting all the radio traffic. Looks like it's a little more widespread than we thought. It looks like it's gonna play some updates going on in the system up there. That's looked at much higher than me, but it is being looked at. If y'all heard any instance of that, it's already been taken care of. We've got one new hire on, she's working out great. She has some friends from her former workplace you may be trying to bring over, so looking hopeful on that. Trucks are staffed now. I think there's only been, in the past month, 2, maybe 3 days where we didn't have 3 ALS trucks up. And then we had a BLS truck up. So we've had 3 trucks up every day. Most of the time it's been all ALS. And that will going to continue in the future. As things are looking up, I do appreciate y'all's continued patience.
Appreciate you all.
You have any questions for me?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Just a hypothetical. Say you came to my house, I fell out of something, loaded me up, and there's 2 of y'all on the ambulance. Does one ride back there with the patient or not?
Yes. Your person with your senior level of training. And an ALS truck would be a paramedic. Yes, sir.
they come to your house, they gonna break it down a little bit, not worry about it.
I don't use the metric system.
They put a sheet over it.
I'm gonna give you my number and you call me later.
All right. Well, was there any situation?
Yeah. Might be.
Okay.
Jack, I'm just required, Jack, you're required on you.
I understand. I've heard you call them, say after lunch, but you get
That's fine.
any other business, so you have it.
And it's not emergency.
Okay.
Thanks, cool.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but
I guess you was pointing at me. You pointing at me or you want to?
Where's Matt? Where's
I
Matt?
got, I put one on.
I thought it was on.
no,
We don't want to be able to understand you. Come on.
How you gentlemen doing this morning?
fine, how you?
Here for two reasons. One, we discussed back, I know I just brought it to the board and we discussed it. Couldn't find anything in the minutes. It may have been a week that George was out or whatever, but you remember me coming up here and talking about, my pay and the state retirement? I thought we had come to a conclusion on that, you know, I was gonna get state retirement, that was part of the reason I kept on doing the fire coordinator job. Was, do y'all remember that conversation? I thought we did. I thought we'd already made a move on that. I'm still not getting state retirement. I just happened to look at it and noticed that I was not getting it.
Are you getting more than 20 hours a week here?
Not, so the fire coordinator is not figured on 20 hours a week, but yes, I will tell you that, I do, and that was the question that was asked last time, that, you know, 20 hours a week or more, but if I need to keep up my hours and we break it down that way, we can, but, however, we need to make that happen.
Who would keep up with it?
He would have to start his hours every step.
Okay. I thought we voted to do it, but this, the state says it's gotta be a minimum of 20 hours a week. For us to be able to do it. And I thought we'd have never done it till me and Steve talked.
Okay.
Yep.
So how are we gonna, we probably, I guess, and I'm not trying to get off into something else either, but I get that one set amount, if we're looking at 20 hours a week, we're gonna take that amount that I currently make and bust it up over 20 hours a week, and basically if I work more than 20 hours a week, you know, I'm moving from a fixed pay rate to a, you know, I guess hourly rate at that point in time, you know? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to stir any.
Two-edged sword here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you gotta have the pay rate, I think you can have a base rate, but we won't say this. But we gotta have 30 hours a week.
So I can-
20 hours.
I can go back and show where I did that, and I'll tell you how I do that. So whenever I go, if I go out and work on a fire truck, or if we go on a call, every time that I go in service, I go in service with dispatch. So it'd be relatively, and that's for me, for justifying the hours that I have worked and the hours, you know, I always look at accountability. Anybody wants to come back and look at what I have done for Newton County, then you can go back and pull it to be
When
able
you go to
to
the
see.
fire chief meeting, you go 10:18?
I do, if I can remember to do it,
Right.
yeah.
Jason just mentioned that we could enter into a contract with him, but as a prerequisite, he would have, in the contract would say you have to work a minimum of 20 hours a week. That way, we wouldn't have to keep up with the time.
You good with that?
I'm fine. However we need to go about doing it, like I said, I just assume I get the check, tear it off there and throw part of it in the garbage and go put it in the bank. I don't ever look at it. And I just assumed it was taken care of until I happened to, look on the bottom side of the thing and realized, and I got the thing from Piers this year, and the hours or the years look just a little bit short. And I was like, I bet you I'm not. Somebody says, well, my next payday, I'm gonna look on the bottom of it and see whether I'm getting state retirement, helped out, and I'm not, so.
So we can go ahead, since we didn't voted to give him retirement, we just need Jason to draw up the contract.
y'all have to vote on it.
Didn't we actually vote to do that?
No.
I don't
No,
think
I'm
we
gonna say it was
not
good.
in the minutes. We talked about it, we didn't.
I think that was part of the agreement.
You can do that all in one motion
Yeah.
if that's what y'all want to do.
Yeah,
I just thought it was about
They
that.
said I can't sign it, I
Okay,
mean,
I mean, we pretty much agreed to what he just said. We need a motion to,
Second.
all in favor?
So is that from this point forward, or is that from back?
well, can you legally go back?
We'd have to pay penalty, and he'd have to pay his part probably with a penalty.
The,
Tell me, I don't care, guys, I mean, I don't put,
what we're looking at, 6, 8 months? Probably
I
8
don't
months.
Remember?
I don't, probably 6 months, something like that, because I had to sign that thing saying, because it was on there for a while, and then Stephanie made me sign a piece of paper saying that I'm not working for another state, employment. I signed that thing, and then immediately come up here to the next board meeting, and we discussed it. I thought, like I said, I thought it was taken care of then, but I'm gonna say 6 months worth. And if it's, I'm fine with, whatever we need to do. I mean, I hope I live long enough, and that's, that 6 months I'm not worried about anyways, but if I don't, I didn't need the retirement to begin with, so.
So you want to pay your part of the penalty, or you just want to start it from today?
Probably be a lot easier on you to get started, but that's your prerogative.
Okay. I was hoping for some advisement, and I'll take that as advisement, that's good enough.
Well, am I wrong, Steve? It'd be a
I know that
big deal.
penalty is,
It would be a big deal.
is tough.
It's not only would it be penalty, it'd be your share too.
Okay.
Bring us some things for it.
That's good, that's good for me. Yeah, we'll start it as of today, it'll be good, as long as we get squared away.
Yeah.
That would just do it, not,
Just waiting on the contract.
all right, that's what I want to ask.
Yeah, Jason's gonna do a contract.
So I don't need to follow up with you guys again, that should be, and
It's gonna be in the
I don't need to carry nothing to
Check your checks
nobody, that'll be.
Right.
Always, always follow up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
You'll have to sign.
okay. The other thing is, these fire department radios I've talked to you about before. So since the last time I was up here and talked to you guys, there was one fire department that didn't hear the pages because the current system that happens to be Greenfield is kind of one of the outlying counties, outlying areas in the county. And they end up having to page another fire department on another call, some chicken house fires on Kitchener Road out there. And Union ended up driving all the way out there before they realized that Greenfield was on scene and already had the fire put out and all those things. So, and I know that's not the only area. I know Duffy's experiencing some issues too, but what they brought up in the last chief's meeting this past week is it's gotten to the point it's gotten to be a safety concern, and, dispatchers are not able to talk to them and vice versa. And just wondering if we, if there's any way they possibly could make a move on it today. If it did, they'd qualify for some additional savings, end of the year savings, and they tell me that their equipment would be in by time for Santa Claus if they place the order now, so.
That's something that we're gonna talk about today. We're not gonna talk about it right now.
Okay.
And, we'll get back with you on that.
Sounds good.
Right, was Green
Greenfield.
field on the scene when Union got there?
Yes, sir.
I thought I heard that. And, there's something else on that. Sure, we're getting over.
So there was, just to let you guys know, the other part of that, I have heard one person that, and as a county, he was a fireman, he's no longer a fireman, but he don't want us to move to this system. He expressed his concerns, and happens to be one of your constituents out there. I just wanted you to know before you heard about it from somebody else. But his concern was that people that's got scanners can't hear this weather as they page the weather out. If you happen to have a scanner, the people couldn't hear it. But we got weather radio, we got a whole bunch of other different means of cell phones and everything else that you can use for weather other than, a fire department radio. But it's basically kicking him out of it, and he wasn't happy. So, but I did want you, in case you heard something about it, I wanted you to hear about it from me for.
I remember that question. They don't send out texts anymore.
They do, yes, sir. They do, but you gotta be on the fire department to get those.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm talking about. Greenville didn't get it by text or anything.
They did get the,
Then they showed up.
yeah, and the service area out there too, you know, as far as, cellular service, it stinks, but there's no way for that, it's not two-way communication back and forth, you know.
And we're not getting them anymore, that's anyway.
Text,
When I was in Mountain, I got them, I'm off,
ain't that just crazy?
it's your cell service.
Oh, it must be cell phone service
That's
then,
not gonna, that's what I'm saying, probably ain't gonna have much to get on your radio.
probably.
Well, yeah, that works off of satellite, don't work off of the tower. Oh,
It's a little different. Let me know if I can help you, and I'll be around for a while.
All right, Brian,
Yes.
appreciate it. Follow up with Jason.
All right, will do.
make sure it's not, so.
Richard. Did you want to see the
Oh,
a little bit
Kind
later?
of just waiting there and see what's going, but Marty's supposed to be there, but the other one.
Might need to keep more, might need to keep more out here.
Do what?
I think that's
better.
better.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Guy?
You want me to say something, Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Guy.
But
It's not very often that happens, but that's the reason I want sure y'all supposed to come up here. You said Mr.
I do that when I don't know your first name.
You're in the office.
Well, you were just showing common respect.
Buddy, how you doing?
Still fine, still fine.
I haven't been around, I didn't work.
What I'd like to talk to y'all about is the possibility of y'all assuming our duty of picking up garbage
I'm here if they had
in the town in Hickory and us paying you for it.
That's better than nothing.
Well, that's true. If they don't get paid, we can't cut them off. We'll just stop. Our issue is everything that we got is worn out. The town has limited income. I did a little bit more research on the number of people that we had as far as picking up garbage, and it wasn't as high is what I had said. The number is 180, which equates to 2,000 something a month income as far as garbage. Our biggest problem to start with, we had a truck, the transmission went out on. We were in a bind, we had to buy another truck to be able to pick it up, and that time we had a dump body. Then the dump body tore up. And when it was down, we bought a garbage truck to pick up garbage because we couldn't get the other fixed in time to do that. And it has been nothing but a nightmare, endless mechanical issues. If you buy wore out stuff, you get wore out stuff. But you gotta work within your means of what you can afford to pay. And for us to be able to buy the equipment we need and be able to perform the service for the residents, we couldn't afford it. I didn't know if your page looked like that for a second. But anyway,
Time's up.
time up. Okay. What we would like for y'all to do is entertain the idea of picking it up on a per basis of $12 per household.
What are they paying now, $11?
Pardon me?
What are they paying now, $11?
Right now, we're doing $12.95. We want to keep at least $1 to be able to afford to do the trash truck, which that's not going to really cover it.
For limbs, debris, you telling us?
Right. And that's what we'll be using the dump body for on that. And even at that, and then we'll take our trucks that we've got, the one in the shop, hopefully, When it comes out, we'll sell it, we'll sell the garbage truck, put that back into, a decent dump body for the other one.
Yes, sir.
And, we may end up having to go back in and charge a, rubbish fee or something else like everybody else. And, finally get to the point, we gotta get enough money coming in to pay for our services, obviously.
Where are you
So,
located?
Steve, you looking at just under 26,000 a year based on our 80 hours.
Well, see, the other thing is you're going to Hickory already, the outskirts of Hickory, and picking up garbage. You're going right to the city limit. It's taking them from the time they pick up garbage, and this has been stopping to put 25 gallons of hydraulic fluid in because they had a bad leak, but we've got that fixed. But they ended up, it's taking a total from the time that they crank the truck up and empty it and get back home, it's taking approximately 3.5 to 4 hours. That's how much time-wise it's taking. I don't know how your route works or whatever, but like I say, you're already going to the outskirts of town.
Do you know the tonnage that y'all produce? We have to take that to the CAD and they charge us so much a ton.
Are y'all taking it to our landfill now when
We're taking to your landfill now.
No, you want to late.
Not household garbage, I mean, that's not going out.
Okay, that's why.
So that's 4 million.
It's going to Clearview.
Yeah, but it's coming to our landfill and then carried back.
No, I don't think so.
They going straight to Clearview with it?
We're taking it out there now and we're paying approximately, if Joyce got me the figures right,
Do you have tonnage on that?
we're paying, not counting the trash for it. Well, see, all together on garbage, we're getting about 26, because that's not counting the commercial. We're just talking about the residential, is what I was giving you the number of a while ago. If I remember correctly, she told me we were paying now $600 a month for what we were dumping in the garbage out there. Not our limbs.
Richard, they taking that straight to Forest,
They
right?
taking it straight to Clearview,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
Yep.
All right, I think y'all figured that, I think you carry it straight.
And they don't, I have never seen them bring any limbs, debris or anything out there.
Well, I'm going by figures I've been told. The only thing
I think
I've
they're taking it
got
to Clearview.
Yeah. Take them down to Scott County. Because I know I had never seen y'all bring household garbage out there and dump it in our walking floor where it would have to go in order for it to go to sanitized landfill.
Are you saying we're not carrying the garbage to the landfill now?
I don't think so. Unless
Not
I
the
missed
new,
something.
not the new county.
Not the new landfill.
To the main.
Well, why in the heck would we be going to Scott County? We live in Newton County. Why would we want to support another county?
Probably price over down there.
Well, anyway.
Well,
That's the main drop off, isn't it?
Yeah, see, we
Well,
don't.
our price on putting it in the walking floor out there is $55 a ton. Because we gotta we got to rehaul it.
Yeah.
And we gotta pay our place plus the trucking haul.
What is clear you go to, 33?
They double whatever we was paying them.
What is 33, Richard? What are we paying now, County?
I don't, they went up, Steve would have to find, I don't really know, they went up this, every time they go up, they
You
go
was
up.
33 was, I
I think they're,
Are we bringing our limbs and rubbish to you?
No, sir.
We're not bringing nothing to you.
I don't believe they've ever brought anything out there. You may be like the rest of you guys.
Well, why in the world would you live in Newton County and support Scott County? Yeah, I mean, that's the question y'all wanna be asking me.
Well, I know it happened about 12 years ago that they came to us and asked about, when they bought the gooseneck dump trailer, they came, a new truck, they came and asked us about dumping in our walking floors in our transfer station. We got what they call a transfer station. So we sat down, we figured out what it cost us to handle the transfer station, the scales, the trucking, and the disposal of the garbage, and we come up with a figure that we've been charging for the last 12 years, I guess, of $55 a ton for anything that has to go to the municipal landfill site, which is either in Scott County or right now they're hauling it to Kemper County because they got the contract.
Well, aren't y'all just as cheap as Scott County?
We can't keep household garbage in Newton County because we don't have a.
We don't have a municipal site, we've only got a rubbish site.
So,
But we do have a
household
transfer
garbage is
station.
going to Scott County, y'all is too?
I was going, it used to go to Scott, but now it's going to Decatur.
Okay.
They can take anything, we can't.
You just cut out the middle.
Yeah.
Well, but on his land and rubbish and stuff, what they would say,
Yeah, that
coming to
would.
Decatur would be a pretty good savings. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably gonna be higher.
Well, all these limbs and rubbish and stuff they pick up on sides, what do we get?
I think it's $19 a ton, I'd have to check and see. I'm not involved in much with the scale house anymore.
I mean, for practice.
Well, our problem, I think we've been picking up trees.
Let's go.
And the last time that we picked up limbs and stuff was when somebody cut some stuff down and threw it on town property. We cleaned it up, and I think we hauled more dirt than we did trees when they scooped it up with a bucket. And you know, that gets to be expensive when you're just swapping dirt for money. But anyway, that's another story. That's not your problem. That's our problem.
So put it back on the number of households, I think when you spoke.
When you and I had talked, she had told me around 230 or something like that. Well, I've got a printout
I
right
think it was
here,
over 300 it was.
That's what I was.
or whatever it was that she told us at that time. I went and got a printout, and I don't know why I couldn't have found this out before. Other than I wasn't given the printout, and I've got it now, but unfortunately, and you're welcome to look at it, I need it back because it's got customers' names on it.
Does it give tonnage or anything on that report?
Pardon me?
Tonnage.
No, unfortunately. Of course, this is household garbage
I
there.
understand, but you know, when I talk about the trucks are coming in pretty well loaded from down there. We need to kind of know the idea of the tonnage, and that'll give us an idea of the cost. The average tonnage gonna give us an idea of.
Well,
what it's gonna
the average
cost.
household is gonna have probably 2, 3 at the most.
Yeah.
Bad, and you always gonna have several people in the area that's gonna have more than that, you know, where maybe you have one house, but
They've been paying, I'm sure somewhere or another we could get a tonnage, kind of give us an average, don't you think?
Well, we gotta have that.
Well, I mean, they've been hauling clear.
That's what I said. They
What we're putting on
got.
them trucks now, Richard, about 14, 15 tons?
No, they usually come in about 6.5 to 7. They only maxed out is, well, they won't compact 10 tons.
well, when the truck comes in there and does the load, do y'all give the truck a receipt that shows how much tonnage or whatever they've got?
When the truck comes in from the route, they go across our scales, we get a scale ticket on it there where it's come in from. When it goes out on the big truck, on the 18-wheeler going to Clearview or to Kemper County, wherever we have another printout, and then those figures need to come close to matching what we take in out there at the transfer station.
Okay.
I think you just need to see what kind of tonnage has been going to Clearview, say, for the past year, where we get an idea of the average amount we're talking about. And then it's just a matter of us sitting down and talking about whether we can afford to do this or not, whether we do it at the same time they pick up 5, or we send the truck on Mondays, a separate truck or whatever. I think that's, I mean, we gotta be able to know households and tons.
They pick y'all up Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's one of y'all's biggest days is Wednesday, ain't it, Richard?
Well, I don't think there's gonna be any way you can incorporate it with the route, because everything that's around Hickory is on Wednesday. And Wednesday, they pick up somewhere around 18 to 19 tons. That means the truck's gonna have to come back in and dump and then go back, even if you incorporate it into it. And that's gonna add a lot of time onto that, and mileage and everything else. So, every truck right now is almost maxed out on its route. And back when we had the smaller.
Oh, we'll sell you a truck now.
So,
At a good price.
so they would just about have to run that on a Friday with a truck, right?
Well, that's the best case scenario, would be to run it on a Friday, unless we can get out from under, when we get out from under this contract up there, we might have where we could work it in on a Wednesday route, when your 18-wheeler driver can be one day a week we direct dump, if we could ever get back to Clearview, that we direct dump. That next morning, he doesn't have a full truck, so we might just work it out that way, if you wanted to work it that way. I mean, there's lots of ways to work it, but we gotta get some figures on the tonnage and the amount of residents exactly, and, cause I mean, when we get it, we gotta get rid of it. They charge us, we have to pay them. I mean, that bill that goes up to the landfill, of course, is a pretty good bill every month.
1167.
All right, what you need from me is obviously the number of households, which I've got. You need the tonnage that we're doing.
Or week.
And what else?
My concern on this, you know, we've lost Lazy Boy and our big revenue take. And I don't know if we, sometime in the next near future, we're gonna have to increase our rate.
Well, you know, Lady Boy had went back and hired back 100 people.
Yeah, but they don't deliver to us.
No, I understand.
I have a question.
And our situation, to be honest with you, which I mean, we're not gonna do, but from our standpoint of everything that we got going, we'd be better off to drop our code charter and let the county do everything. We're not doing that, but I mean, financially,
Yeah.
if you look at what we've got in, most everybody we've got living in town is, old people. It's not paying taxes.
You got a problem with old people?
Well, let's see. It's a couple of us in here. I ain't got a problem with the ones in here, no. I just have a problem with it, they're not paying us taxes. So therefore, we don't have the income. But I'm glad not to pay it either, so don't get me wrong.
Do y'all do exemptions for,
Pardon me?
do y'all do exemptions for senior citizens in Hickory? Do they have to pay for garbage to senior citizens?
I'm sorry, I'm old and hard of hearing.
I say, do the senior citizen pays,
Senior citizen, everybody
everybody
pays.
pays, okay?
Yeah, we don't,
You don't discriminate.
no, we're equal opportunity.
Trash here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Richard had a question for you.
Yeah.
How many businesses are you picking up?
Well, the service station up there, I just noticed that obviously Waste Management or somebody's picking up for them because they've got.
Well, that's all I know, everything that the county picks up has to be bagged. No loose material, no cardboard boxes, it has to be in a bag for the county to pick it up.
Right.
The store and the Dollar General both have dumpsters.
Well, that's, most of your bigger business is cheaper that way for them, so they do it that way.
Well, they started doing it that way here recently. And your other businesses that you would have, you've got Troy Grand Furniture, he's got a garbage can out there that he's got bagged garbage in, which is about one a week. And
They try to do those.
when he throws it in the garbage can that's not bagged, those other boys not pick it up. Of course, I think they have anyway. But that's kind of cutting your nose off, spite your face since I work here.
Mr. Gass, if you can get us that information.
I'll
And
get
we,
And I'll let y'all get on with everything else.
yes.
Who do you want me to get it back to? This gentleman right here.
Jackie,
I get it,
still see it.
whatever, you probably see me more,
Okay.
you know where to find me.
I'll find you. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me. And if y'all made a good garbage truck, I know where you can get the deal. I didn't say good.
Ready for you.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Come on. These are changes for the new road, which tax statements we are collecting as of today. It's just one
Thank
sheet.
you, Rich.
It's just one sheet.
Thank you.
Yeah, make sure you go over. That one.
There it is, there it is. No, that's all right. Really think. Let's see if I carry that. Those minor losses. Now, that-
Have a question,
Yes.
I just think that much off, stand in the building.
Right, but there's appreciation because it's been like that vacant.
Is that the total?
No, that's just what they took out.
They agreed to do this, and we're building school.
Used for storage last month. Right.
You can get a deduction if you just use a house for storage.
And we changed the day from a residence, and that's a difference.
I need to come see you.
We changed it.
You know where that is?
I do not. That deal with the town of Union right there, that, yeah, they removed the house, but then they come to us, want us to put it on as a drainage, so that we can collect a map for the city, which, I mean, I don't know that I really. If they didn't pay the tax, they're not gonna pay that amount here. But we're going to step to get it done, so that's what we're doing. It's a special assessment, that's right.
It's in the Shelby County. Across the line.
All that Dollar General.
No. That doesn't own that, what is it?
But,
That's Red Box. I know it's in the
No,
Shelby
it-
County, but they ain't got nothing. I mean,
but you know, we tax them as a leasing type deal, and we had it on our side, which we had to take off because it's sent to Shelby County. They sent it in, the rendition was out. We added it, and then they called us and told us it should went to the show.
Okay, you know, anything else for later? On these items? Not, we need a motion to accept this on recommendation of the tax assessor. On the favor?
All
What
right.
other good stuff we got for us tonight?
I'm out of here. Thank you, y'all have a good one.
Good stuff.
Mate, did they ever do anything with emergency management on that mapping deal was supposed to be to where you were able to use it? You know what I'm talking about?
No, nobody came to me with it.
That's never progressed. We bought that in that contract, didn't we?
I think we paid some money for that.
Yeah. She's supposed to be able to, go through the 911 and got the, was it, what you call it, digital?
Yeah, mapping system where I should be able to go in, and if I put an address in, it should. Like I put it.
So it's
Yeah.
never nothing that's happened on
So they have, we had a way to even do the addresses from our office to look at them, we couldn't do anything with them, and now they do that.
And we pay them for that.
I
Like you paid for when you purchased that system.
That's right. That's right.
That digital mapping that Wayne got with it, was that not supposed to,
That's what we were told.
yeah.
Don't we need to get reimbursed if it won't work?
Well, I think it's probably the ball been dropped on it, nothing's been,
Jackson Communication, what? Didn't that come through with the Jackson Communication 911 dude?
Doctor,
yeah.
yeah,
Botany?
but yeah, that's,
Yeah, but we've had something since then, this last update was supposed to have had that, where it's interchangeable between solid waste and her and 911, all the
which
information.
system?
U911.
Oh, okay,
No, we
That
didn't
would be good.
reimburse it, it ain't never worked.
that'd be good if I had it.
Well, yeah, that was the whole idea, that it's supposed to help some of these addresses that we keep getting mail back on, and it just lays in the box and nobody ever does nothing. So at least the ball been dropped on that.
We also in talks with Three Rivers, when we first started the change in the solid waste, what they were doing was they were getting to that $150 mark, and then they was cutting it off and then starting a new, not a new one, but a different account. So when the bills go out, it was only going for the current account. It wasn't showing people that you got $1,200 over here, or $160 over here that you didn't pay. So when they come into us, we go back to the old stuff, and say, nope, you gotta pay at least half this before you can get a tag. Well, I know I had that, but this is where you are. So we're in talks with them to get them to put all that back together. And when you send that bill out, you send it out for the full amount.
Yeah, good idea.
I think so. Rather than people coming in and swelling up at us, because they ain't know they had it. I don't have that many pins
Well,
to
if it's
pop it
swelling
up.
up at you, it's keeping them from swelling up at me.
I don't even want to do that, so. But anyway, that's what we want to do. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Johnny?
Maybe we're gonna need some more dirt. I thought we're gonna need a lot.
Why you say that?
Once they start pushing it off in that hill down there.
The,
Morning.
Oh, hey out there.
good, your great marks, you put them back on? You put them back
I'm
on?
still working on that. See, he's already come down there twice. They have to get as close as we can.
Yeah, we can, I mean, we can get more dirt.
I think we're gonna need something. But like I said, when it falls off.
Yeah, not gonna get that much more.
Some keep them moist.
So as soon as it gets spread, we're gonna go buy some of the rolls of that mat stuff and put out, put some hay over top of it and stuff like that.
Now, the trees that you were talking about, how many trees you talking about gotta be moved?
Ain't that big.
And
There's
that
only
is
one about like that, and the rest of it just kind of some brush and
that's the one
stuff.
that leaning this
Yeah.
way. Who property is that?
That's my Legion Huts, right there on the levee, all that. Clear all that.
Well, I mean, we can get you some more dirt.
I figured y'all want to work together, that way if they pushing, you can haul dirt.
Yeah.
And, I just like, I need about a day or 2 days notice, so I can get to town down there, or the water meter, that's right there.
Yeah, you
What they
just,
gonna do, raise it up?
Yeah.
They can go ahead and do that, we can let that dirt sit in there around it.
Okay.
Make it easy, no,
yeah, have to come back and dig up.
that's right,
Oh.
this is gonna break your dirt back
Yeah,
The trees with the saw, and we crush it back up.
and we've got to do something to move them.
I'd like, yeah, if we could, I'd like to get the track over in there, then cut them up, we can stack them on the side of the road. The city haul them off, if y'all ain't got a way to haul them off.
We'll, you just
We,
let,
Tree, I think.
Yes, we can.
yeah.
Yeah, they work on fire, I guess it's fire.
You just let me know, Joe, in advance, when you all want to start out there, and we'll go and get them some more dirt.
Is your machine out there now?
My personal machine's out at Jimmy Niles, I'm thinking about just letting that boy go out there, blade it up. He's good. I don't know, we'll get together.
Like I say, I'll just give me a couple days notice.
Yeah, holler at me whatever you need.
Well, we're just gonna take those right there, just dress it up, sling it off. In fact, when we get through with the dozer, how many of them pans do Packer set for you, your grade pans?
I think there's 3 on the backside on that hill, and then maybe 2 in the front where it's kind of level. I mean, it's not gonna need just a little bit of dirt on the front part.
We get that in there, we might need to run a motor grader out there to dress it up.
Yeah.
You can slick it up a lot better with a motor grader, back dragging, whatever.
Yeah, with a good operator.
You, well,
You didn't need a motor grader.
well,
I'll let you borrow one.
you just take the motor grader, I ain't gotta take the book to it, did you good?
Yeah.
But, we'll get that, John,
Before Christmas.
well, get on the welding.
Big, on that bank back there, we busted up concrete work better. Put it on there like rip wrap, just wrap the whole thing, and that worked better seriously over there.
It would, to be honest with you.
Did you hear me say there's a whole pallet of dried concrete bags that long? Won't get rid of it.
We ended up losing start that project though.
Well, I got about 56 of those, kind of tennis court, busted up tennis court. That always could jump on the trucks, go out there, while you got your hoe there in place. Let's just look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want this thing to be nice, I mean,
See, that's the only thing I got is we put a bunch of busted, and it starts growing up, we ain't gonna have no way to weed eat or to keep it. It looked better if we had grass, but I'm scared
It's gonna.
it's gonna wash. 'Cause that's gonna be a pretty steep bank.
I can carry you to a creek, it's got about $50,000 spent on it, now it's got some places you can put some boat wagons.
Oh, that's the way that would be, I guarantee.
It's already had that mesh with grass and all, but you got Caterpillar. Put the concrete on the spray.
Splash concrete.
Oh,
It's gonna need some. Unless, like I say, unless you lay the concrete flat, you got some big flat pieces.
Well, I mean, the slope is gonna be a problem too. You talking about the bottom?
that's what I'm talking about, just
Yeah,
slope,
the
slope,
slope.
that slope, but even
Yeah.
if you put it on there, the grass starts coming, you spray around it.
Yeah.
That's keeping water.
Because what I'm worried about too is too much of that dirt, because you know, you got that creek that runs around. Too much of that washes off down that creek.
Stop it up,
Stop
you
it
got
up.
a problem.
Then we got a problem. Us and the National Guard's got a problem.
Yeah, then you got the drain coming in from the other side, it's coming into there too. and
Right.
That's gonna create a bottleneck in there. And you're gonna have a hole out in there.
Because you got the creek comes from National Guard, and you
Yep.
got it comes out of our pond, and they meet right there at the bottom where that hill's gonna be. And all that red clay and stuff starts washing down in there.
Just stop it up on that road. Get water bad, you know.
But anyway, I got plenty of concrete too, because of like everything happening around Decatur, East Central. For some reason, they got permission to bring it to the barn and just dump it, constantly moving concrete pads.
And really, I talked to one guy about it, is we're even thinking about maybe putting a privacy fence on that backside anyway, like a 4-foot, just a wooden privacy, just to make it look better. So if we did a busted up concrete, it would cover a lot of that up, you know. Plus, we don't want anybody walking off the side of that hill, like kids or an old lady in a wheelchair, you get going and she like just keep right on going off it or something, you know.
Pick her up in the
Another brick.
Yeah, pick her up in the river down there.
Another brick.
But, so yeah, that wouldn't be too bad, let's put that fence up.
We'll work on it, see what we can come up with.
Right. Like I say,
Make it work.
y'all know where I'm at, so just give me a holler.
Appreciate it, John.
Appreciate y'all.
Before Christmas, we want this before Christmas.
If possible.
Wait, have you talked to Simon?
Today is the 7th.
I have to. Well, I only think it is if we get it done by the first of the year. Y'all pretty much know January, February, we don't get anything done. But if you give that time, give it time to settle and everything, and we gotta get some gravel hauled in, which we might find somebody. who's gonna
You
donate
call
some
it top
gravel.
and clay out there.
No, it's kind of a mixture. kind of a clay sanded mixture. It'll work fine out there, I mean, it'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll get it, John.
You get it.
Anthony, did you want to see the bullet?
I know.
Jason, did you want to see
Hey,
the
y'all
bullet?
have a good Christmas.
See you, John.
Be good.
How y'all doing today?
Nigel, how are you?
Doing good. Just wanted to present a special section we have coming up at the end of this month. Copies there. This is a copy of the section. I'm not sure, I know I sent something over, I try to hit up everybody individually too, so. This comes up at the end of the year, and, I haven't participated in the last couple of years, but we've had a couple other sections kind of, we skipped over this year due to everything COVID, and, thought y'all might have an interest in this one. It allows for sort of a Christmas message, but also just a message to the community for the, for the year, or maybe even going into the next year, or anything you'd like to communicate.
Let me look at that paper
Let's look together.
there. Yeah. Zero.
Those are the third grader letters to Santa, and this year it'll have, anybody can kind of submit a letter to Santa if you have any kids want to participate.
I may write one. I'm
Well, you're welcome to.
letters.
You're welcome to.
I need a sack full of honey, is what I need.
You might find that in that list already.
Hey, but it ain't no big deal. Yeah, 4 pages. Yeah, that's what we want, you that bad. Which one was that? Hey. On the bottom down there.
Yes.
That's the top of that page, that cost you $999.
I saved you the center spread, but
Give them one you can have.
Oh, you just talking about the core page.
Center spread.
I'm sorry.
Now, Jay,
that was still available.
I got nowhere for you, follow it.
You don't have to have a check.
Yes, that's available, just if you can imagine, so.
Yeah, they want to say center spread, $1,200. I told that down before we failed that. He knows the like we, this is
Code medicine.
Get a football, S-block, a back, PlayStation 36, truck, and log, logo.
I do your reindeer flag.
What y'all think on that?
This would be a half, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. And we got, we can work with whoever on putting together a message, maybe we can get a picture, if they're looking to get an updated picture, just whatever will work best for your content.
Let's don't put the picture in this book.
We need to advertise, county resources.
Not that good thing.
There you
Don't consider us a resource. Y'all are our most valuable. Well, keep y'all leaving. Well, was that, okay, was that, hold on,
Need a motion?
hold on a minute. I mean, that's, the only time we can do advertising is to advertise county resources, so we can incorporate that into this, it's not a problem.
All we need is a motion. A second.
Well, I'll make the motion, we do a half page for these kids.
go. Not for advertising county
Oh,
resources.
yeah, of course.
And so, all in favor? Is Steve gonna be responsible for
Yeah.
getting us kind of resources?
Yeah. We sell the gravel and all that stuff, see, make sure you get.
No.
You take regular.
What else you got for us, Jason?
That'll be it, that's all I got for you today. And our next section will come out, I guess, February, and it'll be the
profile section, so it'll cover the county, so I'll be back in, check with you on that.
Well, I thought it was gonna be the sweetheart section in February.
We might do that one. You gotta recommend it, we're looking for recommendations, so. Well, I'll be back in February. In fact, I'll be in contact with Mr. Seal on the content, and I appreciate y'all's time today.
Good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, how's it going?
Wayne on that list. Wayne Market Road, he ain't getting that food.
I called Wayne, he said he wasn't coming unless it had to.
Yeah, he Market Road. He got candy right over.
Good to see.
Mike Butler has advised that the board needs to terminate our participation in the interlocal agreement with the Attorney General's Office, Secretary of State, and the counties of Jones, Leake, and Winston. This is to do away with the Choctaw language interlocal agreement. What Kemper and Neshoba have been doing is contracting with somebody on the side that only participates if there's a problem. So that's what Mike is suggesting that we do, rather than pay a monthly salary and expenses.
We need a motion to approve this agreement.
I'll make a motion.
Right. All in favor?
Robbie Richardson has asked that Caleb Rice be appointed as an additional requisition clerk in the EMA. Need a motion to that effect.
Oh,
Second.
All in favor?
County road crews buried a horse on Gail McKinnon's property, 22579 Highway 15, Union. Dr. Stokes recommended the burial due to infectious disease and public health reasons. And George has got a copy of the certificate. Mississippi Department of Finance exempted Newton County from reverse auctions for asphalt, liquid asphalt, hot and cold mix, culverts, gravel, riprap, limestone, clay, gravel, crusher run, and slag. But to comply with state purchasing laws, you've still got to turn around and advertise for certain items unless you look to purchase off state contract. Now, certain items being the culverts, culverts, milled asphalt, three-quarter rock, signs, and hauling is what your purchase clerk have suggested.
yeah, I'll make that motion.
So we're gonna advertise for the
Say that again.
culverts, milled
Culverts,
asphalt, signs.
three-quarter rock, signs, and hauling. Or if you don't want to do any of those, or whatever you want to add to it.
Yeah, let's do it so we can add to it.
Yeah, I was fixing to add that to
We
my
might add
motion,
to it now.
that we can add to it. No, just like on covers, you got 4 or 5 different places that give us pricing on covers. They all in a few dollars, but they change throughout the year. They have all, since I've been here. So how do we go about that, Steve, before you go any further here?
You'll accept a bid, and then you'll accept alternates.
Even on milled asphalt, 'cause I'm not gonna get caught with that no more. That's a bunch over here.
Well, that's what we used to do, is that alternate bid on all of them, just about.
So we're gonna accept all of everything?
If somebody's got a bid, I mean, if there's only one bid, that's all you got.
Okay. All right, well, I stick with making that motion.
So you can, let's say milled asphalt's $22.50 a ton, and the alternate is $24.50. You can go either place then?
Supposed to go with the lowest they've got. If they haven't got it, you're supposed to go low. That just saves you from having to,
Or like
Get
yours at
get another
Charles,
quote.
or like in yours at Charles, Steve. If APAC Breeding's got their Superior's dollar and far higher than Breeding, you can still buy that Superior because you'll save on diesel fuel wear and tear time.
we'll just have to, you'll have to include that.
Yeah. Like with all, like we used to do.
Well, it said you exempt on hot asphalt.
From reverse auction, you've got to still.
Oh, okay, all right, I'm wrong, all right, I see what you said. Yeah. I second that motion.
All in favor?
We'll open VS George first Monday in January.
Do we have to, okay, like the slur seal, what you wanted, the policy, do we have to advertise for that also?
They are, well, that does say that we can go back and do under state contract at a later date, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think that comes on the state
Don't
contract.
fall on
it's
it.
not on there.
It's not fall on the state
Do
contract.
they not do any chip seal and stuff for the state anymore?
It's gonna have to be a contract.
All right.
Do you want to add slurry seal?
To this,
Yeah.
Where is it?
I don't mind they're gonna give you a bid, but you could add it to it. You know,
I'm
cause
gonna add file seal to it.
well,
I intend to do something next summer if I leave.
Well, I noticed what Woody wanted on there. We've been bugging me to death about bids, so, I mean, it's not gonna hurt to advertise, somebody might come in on it, we
That's
can
right.
about the same.
How about striping then? Do we advertise for striping?
On striping, you can't afford striping nowhere. You might can afford them raised markers.
That's all I got.
Okay. George?
Oh, I have one thing, Steve, this, I only got to talk about it here, but I'm going to, and I want to make sure we're on the right page. The guy that started working for me, hurt his shoulder, had to have surgery. They was telling him over here last week that he's got to pay his insurance.
He's out of time.
His own insurance. Now, he got hurt out here, we're gonna make him pay his
You
insurance,
know, this is for his daughter.
just his daughter. Well, okay. They were telling him $987, I said, no, be crazy to run over rat.
No, I think it's his daughter that he's got on insurance.
All right.
Yeah, we pay the employees' share, it's whatever extra.
What else you got, Joe?
Oh, we're gonna talk, well, we'll talk about this. Not really, nothing, that's it.
Richard wants this.
Can I take just a minute of y'all's time?
Come on up, Rich. I didn't see you come back in.
Well, I'm out there
I
talking,
didn't need it, but yeah.
I'm out there talking to guys a minute, I don't want y'all to be in the dark as he was, because he was in the dark with him. Cindy was coming up the stairs, I was going back out with him, and he was under this impression that been hauling, she went and looked in the records, they haven't hauled anything else since 2010. They haven't been a bill to the Hickory since 2010. I don't know what they're doing with their lands, I don't know. I don't get into that with nobody, like everybody got their own little hiding place and got it.
Yeah, bother.
I say, there's a couple of things I wrote down this weekend that'll help y'all make a decision. I talked to him, now, if I'm figuring this thing right, they're right at $11 or $12, which us at $12 a month would be $144 a year. We're not quite there yet, we're at 126, I think it's 126, I'm not sure. A year, on a yearly basis. Now, on a monthly basis is more. On a yearly basis, 126, if you figure it that way. And I tried to talk him to, at least checking with Waste Pro and Waste Management to see. And I said, you're hauling stuff to Clearview. I said, he says he's been on the board 12 years. He's never seen a contract come through. Now, maybe they don't have to operate with a contract. We do. I don't know if there's a certain dollar amount on that. If you fall below that dollar amount, you would do, or
Cities fall under different purchases.
different things. But he said he's never seen a contract come across the thing. Well, if they're just hauling down there, this is when I was at the landfill. They had went up to $35 a ton. If somebody just drove in there with a truck and had a load of stuff, it was $35 a ton. Now, and I don't know, they may be paying $35 a ton down there to get rid of it. I don't have it out here, and I guess he's gonna try and find that out.
That's household garbage only, I mean, what's the rubbish fee? What is the pay for rubbish hauled in?
It's still 19, I think. I'm not closely involved with that anymore, so, and we're still, and see, we based it at 55. Remember when you talked, whenever they wanted to come out there, and I think it was 2010, because I came here in 2008. In 2010, we had to come up with a figure. Well, we had just purchased this $60,000 on the transfer station. We had, they had went up on the price down there. had to figure mileage on truck mileage, and at that particular time, diesel fuel was over $4 a gallon. And so that's been based, we've been getting $55 a ton on anything put in our transfer station out there, and that's to get rid of it. But now we was only hauling 26 miles, and now we're hauling 56 miles. So that mileage is double, so I don't think there's no way it's gonna be any cheaper than that. And probably should be more. I haven't really sat down with them to figure that part of it out, but, I mean, he's so close enough, I don't know, ask him, I said, do you know, call Murray and see what the city, what they're having to pay per household through, I think it's Waste Pro's got them now. You know, they may be right in there, it may even be cheaper than, you know, and you at least have a contract, you know what it's gonna be for at least 12 months. Of course, I was telling him that there's no contract that you sign now that they don't have the increase for the cost of diesel fuel, because we got into that whenever diesel fuel did jump up so high, whenever we got into that problem. So, there's just some things, like I say, I don't think there's any way that we can incorporate that into a daily route. Because the trucks is already loaded, Dude's gonna be making another trip, we're gonna make another trip, and might have to come back. You've also got liability problem, in a municipal area. Trucks backing up, turning around, they gonna back into somebody's mailbox, they gonna back in somebody's driveway and tear it up, they wanna fix it. You got liability problems there. And, I don't see it generating us anything above actual cost. It may be costing us some money, but, you know, I can feel for him when he sat down and started telling about garbage problems. He was preaching to the choir when he started talking to me about that. So, I know about garbage troubles and no trucks and that kind of stuff, but.
So at $12, you think we would be spending our week?
Well, it's what we get now for picking up what we got.
We're gonna add another day to your route. You're gonna get valid for 180 hours. I mean, he can do it all.
Part-time driver too.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, and every time that something's brought up, the contract in Campbell County up there is killing us. And I mean, I just said, we've got 2 big trucks sitting out there we're maintaining and paying insurance on and keeping up. If we were still hauling to Clearview down there, we could have sold that other truck and we got rid of that other old walking floor body, at least. And, because you can haul direct from here to Clearview. If you get in a terrible bind where you haven't got a transfer truck to haul down, you can haul all the garbage down there, and it doesn't cost you a whole lot more to haul direct down there. Time you figure the insurance, the cost of the trucks and everything like that, this done got in there real close. And the other fact is, and that was my deal with hauling down there as much as we did direct. We didn't go really 2 days a week when I was out there. We tried to go about 2 days a week. But that gives the trucks some running time on the road so they can go in the regen and all that works better on the trucks. But that's all water on the bridge. But if you got out one contract up there where you'd have one day that the man would not have to go to landfill, at least maybe one day a week that your dedicated driver you got out there now wouldn't have, he could take a truck in one man and probably pick up the city. But, you know, that's all, everything's got to work perfect for it to break even. And the way things, we don't need anything that don't at least break even, you know. We got to, we're really not in the business to make money, but we got to break even out there. And so, I just let me look here. I say, the other thing you got to think about is the way we're set up not to run on Fridays, work on the trucks on Fridays, and all that, that takes care of your holidays. Whereas if you go to running 5 days a week, you're going to do something about the holidays, and you got 11 of them. You know, there's 11 holidays, and that's a fourth of a year, you know, that you're looking at, that you're going to have to make arrangements to get that garbage picked up. Because all we do is bump ours back one day or forward or whatever, backwards or whatever, and it works pretty good. It really works real good. And
yeah, people would keep them things, but call me, see if they're picking it up.
well, I'll say something on that too, you know. The first time I got my card, you know, we went from, used to send out an envelope with everything in it, you know. Well, the first thing you do is when you get the instructions on the back, you tear it half in two and then turn half of it in. Well, you done lost half the instructions to begin with. So, I mean, I'm not smart, but that was not what we needed to do. But I don't know. That's that's the things I had, and of course, you know, I felt so, we talked out there a long time out there, and, I mean, he's got a problem, but I guess if every time we got a problem, we could put it off on somebody else to take care of it. We basically just saving free when our problems. I'm taking up y'all's time, so let me get out of here.
Thank you for that.
Richard, you said that, from what you see and what little you've heard about, we didn't get the time, that it would probably add another, no, it's nearly about gonna have to add a part of a day or another day the way we set up now. If we did transfer, and drop the contract over here, I understand it wouldn't take a man all day to run the lake and back. You about work 2 shifts, so
He down there.
it stays where we at.
I'll let him measure our
Well,
office.
it's probably
Then you can go out and see, and then I'll be out for
Well, it'd be, like I say,
Yes.
it just ain't, it just, the way those right is, it's just, and then you do not want to go up and change up any county roads.
no.
People have done that, so you can't, you're doing that, you're gonna have a multitude of problems. And,
I agree.
if we can keep things like they're going, but, I mean, I see us having to have an increase. I mean, I hear rumors, you know, with, we don't get quite as much from ESCO as we've been getting. But, the land rubbish side out there supports the garbage fund, and, it's a lot different this year than it was last year. But everybody is that way. So like I say, we're probably gonna have to go up and, you know, we can't, it's like this, we can't pick up, municipalities garbage cheaper than we're picking up county garbage. On a household basis, I mean, it's just not fair. It's not fair to people. And another thing is when the other shoes on the drop, city Decatur up there, so we're picking theirs up, we're gonna pick ours up too, city you down there, you know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do that, we're talking about a whole different system of life. And,
Well, everybody wants to pass garbage to somebody else if they can. And I know when I first started, was in office, we had a time trying to figure out what we was doing, and they told us to close the landfill. We've been through that. It's not smooth by any means. It's better, but
Well,
it's a continuous, every day something.
you have nothing to attract industry if you don't have a landfill, because the industry that comes in here has got to have somewhere to get rid of their materials and at a reasonable price.
Another thing, we don't do a lot of the stuff that we used to do to make sure people pay their garbage. That hurts too.
Collection fee.
We need to get it collected. And
The contract at DeKalb, how long was that contract?
I think you got another year.
Let's hope our truck holds together for another year. I mean, they've worked on it some this year. They're at the old one sitting out there that's, it's just, but you can't, that's too far to direct up there. But like I say, just to having the flexibility, I don't know what you can figure that out in a dollar figure, but to having the flexibility of your manpower and your trucks to where you can say, well, if my big truck broke down or I can't bring them in the scales, we can, I mean, if the scales is down, you know. I mean, people don't realize now that if we had to go in there and completely rebuild those scales, we're talking about $100,000, you know. And they're getting old. And we did that rework on when I was out there, which saved us a lot of money. We didn't spend a lot of money on it since then.
Yeah, plus on your Tuesdays route, I mean, you right there at the landfill, I mean, that was a big benefit. But now you just can't do that. And before, when he's down in Charles Street, all they do is just shoot right
Well, I
over.
thought it is, even on the Monday route up there, when you come out on 489, that truck can leave out on 489 and be in the lake and dump down there before he can get back up there.
Wetland Road.
And keep a new backhoe and everything out there to keep garbage waste down.
Well,
I mean,
the whole reason for changing them was dollars. I mean, at the
Yeah.
point where we were on that contract, it was more than double.
Y'all go straight up the cow from my big.
No, I don't think they do any direct dumping anymore.
That would be a thing, let your trucks exercise, you go up through the country, be up there about.
Well, the thing about it is, most of them wind up in Decatur, where they're going their routes, and you wind up being loaded coming back this way. Now, they'd have to change up the way they run.
No,
You don't wanna do
no,
that.
you change them all, but don't change me too.
I never realized, I never realized when I went to work that some people sit at their house, and if a garbage truck is 30 minutes late, they're gonna call somebody, but they do.
That's the man.
Sad,
That's
all
all
you
you
have to put it out, and
Since
say,
that
well, so didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
They
Must
just
have come
didn't
earlier
put it out.
today.
Yeah.
If y'all ain't been out to the landfill, y'all need to go out there and see what I've been doing out there. I got pictures, I probably can't find them.
Yep, it's, I
You been
drove
out
by.
there, Ken?
Yeah. Looks like a, it's a different landfill.
That's where the new, oh,
Now,
On
or,
the phone now.
let me get back to it.
I got it. Man, it's all, I can't reach across my desk.
That bill is too big.
They probably quit now, oh, it's still working.
Okay. Well, that's what it's on.
That's on there.
That's on the new sale, man, I got all that.
It's what now?
Don't know.
Stone and everything else.
On the new sale.
Two of them. Being up to date, they took 2065. I'm sure y'all lost still. Me and George still, but I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, we'll be voted out, y'all still be here.
I go out there and check. it
Yeah, I'll
out.
be looking at y'all 6 foot under, looking up.
Yeah, I drove
All
by.
the stumps, all the stumps are dug on the sale part. There's lots of dirt out there for us to do the rest of it with. And
What we do with the stuff?
they piled up, they all what's in there. Marty's supposed to be checking with the forest, they said what they do to get them burnt them down in the spring. Like a little bit louder, we had around and all. We're about fire. All right, let me go.
Appreciate your resignation.
See, bud.
Y'all need me, holler.
Charles, you got
I need to do an interfering on 35,000 on my road.
So,
That was a motion.
Road to bridge, is that what we're doing?
Road,
How much you need?
from bridge to road.
Bridge to road.
no.
Right.
Road to bridge.
Where's it from?
I need water from Jim, probably.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I see. It is.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
I heard y'all did the second, I'm assuming Charles Dowell did the first.
Hey, we'll make sure it's that, what, can we do that?
Do what?
We'll make it fit into that, make sure it's that. You don't want that.
When will the tax money start coming? February?
You'll get a little bit in January, a little bit in February, March.
March, well, we got this place.
I just think about that, we normally get our tax bill around Thanksgiving, we didn't get it.
I thought you got it right before Christmas.
That one day.
Christmas present.
Yeah.
We did vote, didn't we?
Yeah.
I voted one time.
Thank you.
What you got, Charles?
I haven't got anything, I don't think, right
Mr. Johnson?
I'm gonna gravel some approaches, box culverts, on Beeson, Potachilla, Peavy, McGee, Tatum, and Brown.
Do what now?
Beeson, Potachilla, Peavy,
Pete?
McGee, Tatum, Brown.
Now, what did, I heard gravel part, what do you gravel?
Gravel approaches, box culverts, and culverts. Dirt road.
You learned.
Anything else?
That's all.
I got some old bridge tunnels that I'm gonna declare surplus. They're good. Some of them are. They're wet.
They just need you,
I think so.
or you need some.
Somebody needs some.
Jackie, didn't you need some?
There you go.
Did you get yours?
Kinda, sorta.
Okay. You gonna need some more. I mean, if you're gonna need some more, I won't.
Try to do that head wall down there, did you ever do that?
Well, I hadn't done it, I mean, I don't know. I'm kinda like you, I don't wanna have to put my junk pile full out the dust. I mean,
With the clump surplus,
Yeah,
we'll
I
have
would-
just look at it, yeah, just look at it. Okay.
Need a second to your motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Or you want to do the post?
Not right now, we just hold on. I want to see what Jack wanna do with it. Okay.
Jack, you wanna mention lunch?
oh, yeah, Caterpillar, Ben Jones, excuse me. Gave a date, work for him would be, was that December 17th, our next board meeting.
That's for all the county employees.
Was that on Thursday? That's a Thursday.
Yep, 17.
He said if he needed to change it, he could. That would work for him, it worked for us.
Could do it, you build them down there.
Well, hey,
What? It's called building down, you do it down there instead of going to you.
Or, we got the senior citizen building over there. Nobody's,
when they do that, then, that make more sense.
Yeah, I'd be right.
Are they not using the key?
You better ask Patsy Warren.
well, I know some elderly ladies that call
I got
about
you.
playing bingo down there. And, back when everything was shut down, and I just told them, nah, that would be a good idea.
They got many tables and stuff in there. So, there was, last time I was down there, we had tables.
We can bring some tables.
But, I mean, just look at it, you know what?
We're gonna make it for the 17th.
Start at 12.
Make sure that everybody knows Steve, they're too full when let all our people know. Well, that's next Thursday.
Yeah.
Y'all used to do it a little bit early because of this rotated hours that people eat up here. Some of them start at 11 o'clock. I think it's been starting at 11:30 and serving to what, 1?
Will that not work?
I think it would, as long
Whatever
as Ben
works
knows,
for
we
Ben.
gotta get over there.
Whatever works for Ben.
Yeah,
Oh, he'll have it.
let's talk for 3 minutes about radios. Michelle and Peggy.
All right. I indirectly have been doing some checking. Some of the departments got a grant and bought 3 radios with a grant, their grant. So I would like, and I think Steve will agree with this, that yours get you with complete institute. I think our best out right now is give each department $10,000. You gotta buy between 6 and 7 radios. And then that'll go toward the ones that, I think all but one department.
You talking about all of them? You talking about $100,000?
And I've had some say, well, the cities need more than that. No. Every taxpayer means the same to me. So I say $10,000 like, and we give it to them, and they buy the radios, and we don't have to keep it on inventory, Steve.
We got some farmers that don't have 10 people that make a call, do
Well, but it's theirs to keep up with us, not on our inventory sheet. And we'll be done the same for everybody, it's gonna make some of them mad, and the ones that get mad, kiss, you know, we're talking about that. And everybody will have the same opportunity to take care of their people, because we had a call Saturday. I couldn't go to it because I was moving my excavator, but a man and a woman had a pretty bad wreck at the end of Pleasant Grove Road. And our people couldn't even talk back to the ambulance that was coming and all, so it's time, we gotta do something. And I think this is our best out. There's our lawyer over there, and there's our county administrator. That'll buy, just say 7 radios per department. They can determine what radios they get, they can determine who gets them, and it takes us out of it.
All right, What was that figure on them radios with those people, these people,
1,600, I think.
a piece?
Yeah. So you can buy basically 7 radios per car. Well, there's somebody in it.
Brian said at the meeting tonight, it could be a little cheaper, but I don't look at the figures, it could be a little cheaper than that. And when I say a little cheaper, it may be 100 or 200, but he didn't say for sure. He
But
just said.
if all the chiefs would get together then and buy bulk, they could probably get some more.
Well, that's why he said, that's why he,
So, I mean, but it would be theirs to do. We'll be done our part, it'd be theirs to do, they'll be on their inventory. I just think that that's the way for us to go, me personally.
So we're not going to say buy X radios from a certain company at
No,
a
we're
certain
gonna
price.
say $10,000 for radios for,
So some people can buy 2 radios and some people can buy 7 radios.
well, that's what they can't come
And
back
they can
here.
buy either radios or pagers.
That's right, but they still can't come back here, we'll be done our part.
Now, I know we talked, when we did budget about radios, and we put a dollar amount in there, but in another meeting, we bagged that out of there. I guess the question would be, Steve, can we,
You can amend the budget anytime you want.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but-
but do we have money?
Well, you got the COVID grant money that has come in,
Oh, that was $325,000.
something like that, yeah.
What kind of update we got to do down here?
No, it's ready to go, all I gotta do is get the radio, go talk. What it'll do,
That'd be
now, what it
appropriate.
will do is, it'll allow us to do away with VHF.
Yeah.
That part will be gone. Is that a miswin or is that?
no, that's not,
Alright, those radios are gone. I mean, that can't talk to you unless I'm looking at your radio, will be out of existence. Everything in the county then can go to Miss Win, which everybody but the fire departments is already on now. Everybody will be on Miss Win, and if they need to talk to Jody, they can talk directly to Jody. If they need to talk to dispatch, they can talk to dispatch. If the highway patrol, and I don't know, and you may know the answer to this, if they'll give you what frequency they are, they can talk direct to the highway patrol on the coast. So, I mean, it's
Not disagreeing with what your motion is intended to do, but my question is, wouldn't we be smart to let Brian buy the radios or everybody buy from the same company and give everybody the same radio? So that we don't get some cost benefit?
You wasn't here, no, you wasn't here when we bought the ones for the sheriff office, no. They only ever told her for 3 years, we didn't know that radio. Yeah.
So we cannot buy them and then turn around and give them to the fire department?
We buy them, yeah, put them in our inventory, whatever.
So we can't buy them, because we have to put them on inventory, but we can provide the money for them to buy them and not be on inventory. Makes sense to me, do it.
Allocation.
Well, does that make sense? And it's normally
If
not
it's common sense, you can't do it legal. That's right. Welcome to the
So
government.
My motion's still the same, let's do 10,000 per department, probably not.
Allocation and not providing radios.
Can
We
you
got to do that.
stipulate it's gotta go toward?
Well, why can't this work now then? Because of the radios they got one.
They got radios like his, and it's VHF free, which they've done narrowed it up now. If you ain't within 150, 200 yards of this particular cable, you might talk to them and you might not. And I'm just being honest, we got the problem out in Duffy, they got it out, don't have it. It's Greenfield, it's everybody but your cities is having this trouble, basically.
here's the deal, like, I'm on Decatur's, but I live up right in the corner of Decatur, Conahat, Greenfield, in that, I'm just in a odd spot, but now, they certain times, when I live up on a hill, Mr. Moser knows I live on a good hill, they certain times I can't even pick up a page or a radio, I'm out in our area, and I can't pick it up now. One of the other issues is, a lot of people can't hear on these radios, get a page, get a page or talk, and they're actually carrying 2 radios. They'll carry the 700, the Miswind radio we've already got to, just so they can talk to dispatch. Well, guess what? I can't hear their traffic. So if they're saying something, the dispatcher can get it, and if they don't relate it to me, that right there is useless.
It's useless.
So once we all get on the same system, it's gonna be a lot better.
Well, the
I mean,
safety-
it is.
And I guess that's where I'm going. Don't we need some assurance that we're gonna lay $100,000 out that what they're buying is going to coordinate, and everybody is gonna buy what they say they're gonna buy.
If we specify on the check for radios, they have to buy radios, right?
We need to have something contractually.
Yeah,
That's what we were talking about. If we give them the money, they can go buy whatever they want, right?
well then make them sign a contract. Because, I mean, we're trying to do our part, and it's time, and I have talked to Brian offline. You know, it's always come back here, we need to do our part, we need to do our part, we need to do our part. Well, I'm willing to do our part, but it's time for them to start doing their part, and I told them it's the last chief's meeting to tell them that I said it. It didn't come from nobody else but me, it's time for them to step up and do their part, quit making us look bad in everybody's eyes and in the paper, whatever. And for the chiefs to step forward and say, okay, here's this, it's time for us to do our part.
But whatever appropriation we do, it needs to be specifically for each department, because if some departments aren't gonna get that type of radio, they're gonna get the pagers instead, then we need some type of numbers or amounts or whatever that's gonna tie specifically to that department.
And if you do, on the contract, if we done 10,000 for radio communications per department, then where they got radios or pagers for the Miss Win system, you see what I'm saying?
I do, but I think just from a practical standpoint, we're gonna run into a situation where we give them $10,000 and they spend $9,700 or $9,400.
Take money left.
They're gonna, how are we gonna get that money back? I mean, we need a specific dollar.
There's no way for us to buy the radio
We
and transfer it without, we can't buy them and declare them surplus and give them to them.
Because between you, it's gotta be under a certain threshold, dollar threshold. It would take 10 years to be under.
So complicated.
Like you said, sign something.
Could we just not do a contract that says, you have to buy Miss Win radios or pagers, here's $10,000, you've got to January 31st to do that. If you do not spend all of it for those things, the money has to come back to the county.
Add that to my, well, George, ain't him, add that to my motion. And then when you sign up the contract, I mean, get it wrote up and they sign it, then they know what is expected out of them in a 40-day, whatever that would be.
Now, I will say this, to y'all, they did discuss the paging system, the pager. And the pagers, they had, of course, we had Motorola. I think everything's Motorola right now, what they've got. I know what we got, Decatur is. Them little Motorola pagers, they didn't work as good. So you got the paging feature on the radio, that gives you extra communications. You may, it's like, I don't know who said, maybe you said that some of them don't have maybe 5 people that'll answer the call, you know, and that's true. We're hurting for volunteers. But if you've got this extra feature, you've got a radio instead of a pager, you know, you've got that, you can keep them, even if you don't have the people. And one thing, we get young people on, it's hard for them sometimes to, they'll have the radio, but they will never use it because, you know, they just scared to use it, don't know really how to use it. It's not this right here. So, but the thing is, you've got extra communications in your department in case of a hurricane or something major you do have. And even Decatur, we did not, that new truck we have, we didn't buy we didn't buy a mobile radio for the truck because we can take those, the new ones, the 700, and use it in a truck, and we don't have to have that. So we don't have to have the mobiles, because really these things are, the new ones are stout enough, they can talk all over the county, or all over the state really. And that way we don't have to have that anymore. So that's a thing of the past almost.
Yeah, you won't have to keep radios, the mobile radios in the truck, you won't have to have them anymore.
Because you're talking about, you know, because all of them are on the VHF, but you wouldn't really have to have it. You can just do away with it and talk on that, and it'll get on out.
So these radios that we're talking about, these are the radio back 6, 7 years ago when the state said that everybody was going up.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, as far as I know it is, but now it's, you know.
But to show you what the state or the manufacturer has done, if you remember when the first radio was bought, you give $40-something $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Now you're looking at 17, 18 grand. piece. So, I mean, they brought the radios down in an attempt to help everybody get off of VHF
Yeah.
onto Miss Williams.
Okay, Miss Wynn, you say to do paging also.
Oh, yes, sir, you have a page, because I had one of those
Why
when
would
I
a
was assistant.
department need pagers?
They were trying to get it out for the departments like Union and Decatur and all that's got 25 active members. They were just trying to get it out to more people, but, I mean, we can't, if you do that, you're looking at spending $500,000. We can't get that right. I mean, we gotta be realistic on this side of the table.
Yeah, because they do have a paging feature on them, because mine would, I'd have it set on, you can set on page, and mine would go off. I
Just
mean,
one more
just here.
question, I'm gonna shut up.
Quick.
We bought the radio. You believe that too, don't you? Yeah. And we said, Brian, give the radios to the fire departments. A year from now, when it's inventory time, can we not transfer them?
No,
Still can't transfer.
we gotta
They're
wait till
on
they get
our
under.
inventory forever.
Well, after they get under $400, the
Yeah.
value of them,
They're on our inventory till they're surplus. Till they're
well, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, which gets under, what is surplus now? When can we
$2.
take it off inventory? No,
We can't.
No figure?
There's-
there is not a figure.
No, it's when the radio is worn out and y'all declare it surplus to get rid of it. That's when it would come off.
I just don't like throwing money out there.
Well, if you
You know,
get
it's
it
not
in
knowing
where
what
they
it's
use
really
or give
going
it back.
That's show invoice or what again.
That's right.
Well, if you're gonna do a contract telling them that this is what the money's for, then you gotta give it back.
So they'll either buy the stuff or they'll bring the money back.
And you
That's
said
the
they
two
just,
choices.
Well, they
And
can
they
have,
all for us. That's the main thing.
did you say they just got, all the fire departments got a grant?
All
Really?
but 1 year. They didn't
They
participate.
didn't apply.
And what Duffy got was free radio. They should be here. Did they take it in?
I don't, they didn't mention the other night, our chiefs meeting, I know that they got some more. We had that initial from the forestry, and then we had another, but I don't know when they're.
See, this is
coming
Foster
back.
one. And ours should be in the next week. And
Yeah.
those three, 7 more. Your 10 people that go, all your calls, can't talk to one another. I'm just telling you, it takes too long. Don't let it. My motion's out there. I'm willing to vote on one.
Now, I don't know if you'd like to talk to Brian and make sure, because we had a chiefs meeting the other night, and he was expressing that the money, if there was money, you know, when they talked about the radio money to be given, there was nothing ever mentioned about not purchasing radio. It was all radios put out, but that'd be between y'all and him. I'd rather not speak for him, but I know for a
You're
fact.
gonna do a contract for each department, is that what you're gonna do?
Yes, sir.
I'll second the other one.
All in favor?
All right.
And on, I'm sorry, Steve, on this contract, it's gonna be, and I'm gonna get the specific type of pager and radio, but it's for the specific purpose of purchasing those radios. They're required to show the invoices showing the amounts, and then any money not spent be returned to the county.
This needs to go through Brian.
Right, yes.
Because he'll know what he's looking at.
That's right. Yeah, and he's gonna approve it before it gets to him. He's gonna be the liaison. But my question is deadline?
January 31st.
No, December 31st. I'm just gonna tell Jason, when you get your contract drawn up, make sure that day, before you make 20 copies, that Brian looks at it and all the wording for Miss Wynn, Kenwood, or Motorola, whatever.
I'm gonna have to, because I don't know what y'all talking about.
Okay.
well, look like it, stay the same radio.
Yeah, I'm agreed, because whoever they're buying from, Motorola, that's what we got now. They got all the systems set up to go ahead and program them.
Program.
And then if you got the whole same radios, that if you have a problem, they,
Yeah.
you know, they'll fix them, or you know
All
what I'm saying.
that same thing,
Yeah,
that we buy, then they can buy whatever they want to, with their money.
That's what I would probably say, I don't even know who's doing it, Kenwood. I think I'm South, ain't it?
I really don't
Who
know.
that come from?
Danny Cherry's boy, what's his name?
You talking about Mac,
He's a commissar.
Mac Chambers?
Yeah.
He's, that's his Danny's grandson, yeah, he's at Meridian.
Yeah, he's a commissar. And I think they'll do Motorola or Kenwood, right? They used to, I guess they should.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
No, we had a guy come in here after that, or before that you talked to, and because you were talking, I mean, you know more about it than.
Yeah, he was from Jackson Communications, which before we got to 911 system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they will try to stay the same, because.
Well, if y'all wanna write it up as Motorola, then you need to put it in the
That's
contract as
what we're
Motorola.
doing, because we've got the quotes that Jackson Communication gave us for pagers and for the radio.
Okay.
So he's using that.
That's who does our 911 equipment, correct?
And this is what the fire department wants.
And if nobody signed, I guess, some of them didn't want to sign the quote, they don't get the radios.
That's exactly right. They don't sign this contract, they don't,
You don't get the money.
I'm pretty sure they'll jump on
I
side of
ask
that.
you, do y'all want to do a special docket once we get the contracts back in, since we want to buy this before Christmas?
We usually see this happening before Christmas.
Yes, they gonna get a better price if it does, they really trying.
But
Yeah, that's.
what he
I'm
said,
telling
that's
you,
what he said.
You won't have any trouble getting them signed this time.
Yeah, what about our comptroller and all, we got to do a special document,
We'll actually go do a special document.
Yeah, she can do it.
When y'all come back, then you sell the 17th.
That's next Thursday.
They might need to make a move.
Yeah, but you at that point, you make a motion to approve.
Jason said he wasn't gonna get the contract.
No, I fixed start on that.
Can we not go ahead and do a motion, do a special document tomorrow if he gets this ready and everybody signs it?
Yeah.
So,
They gonna bill it that quick?
they already went.
They probably done got them both.
No, they ain't got them both. They done done the talking, I promise.
We got a motion on the floor.
What was it?
On the
Do a
special
special
document.
document whenever it get ready.
All in favor?
And then, can I interject something here? I appreciate that, because I'm not representing any fire department, I'm just here on my own. But for somebody that's been on different departments for over 20 years now, I mean, it's a big upgrade, and it's a big battle out there to keep communications in this county. We're in the rural areas, but I'm telling you, it means a lot. Regardless, if you ever get a thank you or not, I know for a fact that I do, because I'm out there. It's hard when you're, and I've done this before, hard when you're dealing with a person, you're on a radio and you're holding pressure on somebody or trying to, I had it happen to me not long ago with an ambulance on the way with a person. And when you're trying to talk and you're down in a hole down there and you're hitting about every other word, and you're dealing with family and you're dealing with a victim on the ground and all that, try to talk to the ambulance. I'm telling you, it was a bad day. But it worked out, but it was just,
We hope this makes it better.
Yeah.
I personally thank you. Nobody else does. I do. That may not mean much coming from me, but I really do.
Thank you.
And some of it's, you ever been on a department or like Joe, it's, I
That's something we
appreciate it.
needed to do, period, for safety.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring it back up, because I know we get a lot of complaints about we don't do this and we don't do this. And
You gonna get that
Hopefully
anyway.
that will,
They gonna complain. That's just people.
Yeah, when you deal with over 100 different people, with 100 different mindsets,
that ain't gotta be two.
I know, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
There gotta be 100.
But that's what we're dealing with, is over 100 people.
Yeah, I know. But, anyone else have anything?
We need to do one today.
Yeah, Chris.
Okay.
I just wanted to pop in. How y'all doing?
All right.
Good deal. I just wanted to pop in, if y'all need anything, y'all got my number, y'all let me know.
Look like Spence, isn't it?
That is. I've been marked good, hadn't I?
He's on off the other day.
Yeah, I was in Scotts County this morning. I walked in, old constable sitting there. He said, "There's old Spence, boy." Yeah, I've definitely been
He
marked.
marked you pretty good, son.
He did. Look, y'all have a blessed one, and y'all call me if you need me.
Thanks.
Chris, you already took care of that contract with us?
With Broom?
Yes. You
Yes,
done got the bill and all that?
for the last month, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Once that goes through, we'll be good to go.
All right, good deal.
I've got a truck that we've made surplus, it's that white and purple Peterbilt.
Okay?
If you would, get it on auction time for me.
Is that at your barn?
It's at my barn, back down behind barn.
All right, 10-4.
Thank you, Lou.
Anything else, fellas?
Thanks, Chris.
All right, y'all have a good one.
On your mini excavator, you never did do the specs for us, and we don't know when to open bids.
Oh, the specs should have got to you. They don't have them up here?
He didn't send them to me, I didn't check.
Chris!
Gone, too late.
You want to call?
Call it. What's your name? What are the specs on that stand, on that mini?
And we don't have a date on it.
He called up here Friday, and you wasn't here. I don't know if he brought him Friday, or if that's what he's doing today. You gonna call him?
When do you want to open bids?
As soon as we get specs. I mean, I'm gonna advertise as soon as we get specs. And we'll open 2 meetings after
Can you
that.
come back? Come on.
We can open first Monday. If we advertise this week and next, then we're ready to start.
Is he coming back? Yeah. Because, like I said, he called me Friday, supposed to call you. And I found out probably the same time he did, you wasn't here. So, if he didn't leave them with them, he should have them, I thought.
Don't you need to
You
amend that?
can get action.
motion or add that?
Well, yeah, we'll have to go, that'll have to go through reverse
Yeah,
auction.
it's over there, I can do it, auction it, all that.
Let me get her on the dates and this.
They not working right?
Have to get
Call
it,
them.
have to get it straightened out.
There's little specs on the menu. How, where we at on that? We were ready to advertise.
Have it today.
All right, Steve, you'll have it today.
You want me to email them to you, drop them off?
You can just email
What's your email, Steve?
sseal@newcountyns.net. SSEAL.
Chris, you didn't answer me, you're gonna call the second time.
Oh, you call me?
Excuse
We say that one more time. Sorry, you gotta call it.
F Steele, that's T-E-A-L.
No.
You did leave me a voicemail though, Mr. Jack.
I did.
Yeah.
Today?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll hear it then, it may be you on.
That's it. Then caught you talking about it.
That's right. You were here then, so you're all right.
Thank you, fellas.
I'll tell you what he said later.
All right, Mr. Charlie. I'll hold you to it. Hey, next time you out and about, I run it up the end of my driveway pretty good when it's wet.
Call him about that.
All right, I'm playing. Y'all have a blessed one, fellas.
You too, brother.
Okay. Do we still need that?
I don't guess. I don't have to think anything else than that.
Yes. We need to, motion to go into discovery, to executive session on personnel.
So moved.
I know that. Took me a year to figure that out.